John D. Villarreal. We're back. We're back. Charge the camera up a little bit. We probably have enough battery to go, maybe an hour or something like that here. And Paul, I mean, we haven't been gone that long, but a lot of stuff has happened here. We have a lot of things that have happened. It's getting better and better for Trump at this point. It's looking very good for Trump in our opinion. What are you seeing out there? I do think we're looking good here. I do think I might be able to stream live to LinkedIn. Let's see if we can do it. Let's try that right now. I might be getting this right, so hopefully LinkedIn is going to get this as well. Yes, I do think that we are live on LinkedIn. I think we are live on LinkedIn now as well. Let's see. Yes, we did it. How about that? Okay, we're live on LinkedIn. That's good. So we got it all happening here. Let people know that we are back live. We're back live again here. Let's get the updates.
Yeah, I'm working on that.
That's fine. I understand. Let's get the updates here. A lot has happened. A lot's happening on X. Let's first go to the we'll go to the election decision desk. HQ currently has 247 for Trump, 204 for Harris. They have called Georgia for Trump, North Carolina for Trump. PA is right now 80% in, 51.4% Trump. Michigan, Michigan, Harris is leading here. Harris is leading by a lot. I've seen some different numbers. We're going to confirm these numbers. So obviously it's busy night. Things are happening. I'm not saying one way or the other. Wisconsin, 75% of the votes in, 51.1% Trump, 47.4% Harris. Arizona, 55% in, 49.8% Trump, 49.4% Harris. Very close there. Nevada, we don't have information yet. It's looking extremely good for Trump right now. We have additional information right here. Let's go to my X feed. Let's see what we've got here on X, and we're doing different things. Project Veritas is saying stuff. Actually, let me do this. Let me step out of that. I want to first show this. We have some sound from MSNBC. We have this. This is from Metropolls on X. Let me show this. Apparently, this was people that were looking at a Kamala Harris watch party. Let's see what happens here. I think they're leaving. This is 10 o'clock. Is this at Howard University, maybe? They look to be leaving. I don't know.
Yes, I think it is Howard. Yes.
All right. I think they're leaving. Okay. So, I mean, there's that information there. Did I share that? Let me see that. Hold on. Let me make sure I got that. All right. Is that sharing? There we go. No, it doesn't seem. Oh, I know. That's my mistake. I apologize, people. Okay. Let's try that again. You can see people here that appear to be leaving Kamala Harris watch party at Howard University. So we've got that there. We've got anecdotes, but we have more and more anecdotes that are coming in here. Let's look at some other stuff. Go ahead, Paul, go.
I just want to tell you, I just retweeted something from Howard Mortman, who's a C-SPAN guy, and he has a little short clip of people at a Trump watch party reacting to numbers from coming in. So that's the contrast between people leaving and I guess people being excited and clapping. I haven't got to watch the clip yet. I'm sure that's what it is.
New information here. CNN, here we go. CNN, this is from George on X. CNN saying that they're not hearing from Harris HQ here, and that they're looking for bright spots. Here we go.
Jake, let me just give you a gut check here about what we are hearing here as we've been sitting here reporting from the Harris headquarters. And I think the operative word right now is silence. There's not a lot being said because the Harris team appears to be searching for bright spots.
Jeff Delaney looking very...
Jeff Delaney is totally destroying that clip. I know the clip.
Looking very punk there, players.
Yeah.
Hey, this is a sad song there. And we're gonna have to check. I wonder what Larry Sabato is saying right now. What is Seltzer saying right now about that Iowa poll? Iowa's been called for Trump. How about Professor Alan Lichtman with the keys, and he called it. He's not changing the keys. How are those keys looking right now? I guess we gotta change that win-loss record. I guess it goes out the door here. We're not done yet, though, players, but it's not looking super happy here, Jeff Selene. Let's see where we're going.
The map as these results very, very slowly come in.
Searching for bright spots and also very aware of the warning signs throughout the electorate in Virginia, in Iowa, in other places. I am told that Milwaukee and Detroit and Philadelphia, that is what the Harris campaign tonight is holding out hope for.
This is more hopium, bro. More hopium. They're looking for anything. They're looking for anything. We're seeing more stuff out there. We're seeing more stuff happening out there. And so we're seeing a lot of information here. Oh my gosh. We saw this before and this is the thing, like Paul, we had this is posted, but this is earlier here by Libs of TikTok, the whole Harris phone incident, stuff like that. And I mean, I just think that people, as I said, the more people got to know Harris, the less.
How you doing? Have you voted already?
Watch it. She's calling a voter, allegedly. I'm not saying she isn't. I'm not saying she isn't. I'm just saying when the phone turns around, look at that. I'm making no allegations whatsoever. This is from townhall.com. Look at this. We'll talk about it.
Give me a second. You did. Thank you.
Okay. What do you notice about that phone, players? What do you notice about that phone? It looks like the picture app's open. I don't know. Who knows? But, Libs of TikTok, quote, Kamala just pretended to talk to a voter on the phone, but mistakenly showed that her phone was open to the camera app. That's Libs of TikTok. I'm making all allegations. I have no idea. I have no idea whatsoever. But it seems like the picture was moving. I don't know, dude. You do with that as you will. Again, we're making no allegations here whatsoever. But I mean, Paul, the knocking thing, I think that people just aren't feeling it in regards to Kamala Harris. And particularly young people. I think something's going on here. Uh-oh. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Go. I've got something else I'm going to bring up. Go ahead. Talk.
No, look, I agree with that. I mean, that they're not feeling it, and we're seeing that. I mean, look, one of the things when we're looking at different nuggets. One of the things I'm looking at the county I'm in Pennsylvania, which is Center County, which is I'm not too far from Penn State.
Mm-hmm.
This county looks like it's going to flip. It's going to move 10 or so points.
It's amazing.
I mean, I think Biden won his county by like 4 or 5 points. Right now, with still some time to come in. Trump's like +5 here. That is enormous swing.
It's amazing. What did I say here? Trump driving
swing.
up rurals, cutting in Denver. That's what I'm saying. We're having low and previously non-voters showing up for Trump. We're seeing communities show up for Trump. We're seeing numbers and a shift. We're seeing the silent majority come out, dude. I mean, it's a different thing right here. Kurtz Kornacki, about an hour ago on MSNBC, maybe longer than that by the time this was posted. Let's see what he's saying. He's talking about Pennsylvania, just what you're talking about here, Paul. Here we go.
And here in Berks County, again, with one of the larger Hispanic populations in Pennsylvania, here's Trump with just about, look, basically the vote here, winning it by 13. Look at that. 4 years ago, he won it by 8. This is exactly what the Trump campaign said it was going to do in a place like Burke County. It was going to take that and it was going to make it double digits. They've made it double digits in Burke County. We check in on Luzerne County. And again, we've been talking about this one as that same day vote comes in. This is Wilkes-Barre. This is Hazleton, another county with a substantial Hispanic population, one of the highest in Pennsylvania. Now Trump has hit his 2020 number there, and he's got a long way to go here. All that vote that's still to come in.
Okay, you're seeing that right there. Trump has basically extended the lead. He's done different things. He's made moves. He's done what he needs to do here in Pennsylvania. But there's more than that, right? There's more than that. Let's go to this. MSNBC just figuring this out right here. Libs of TikTok posted this from MSNBC about Latino men. Let's hear this. Here we go.
So we have some broad national polling exit polling about Harris's strength among Latino men, and they seem to be breaking for Donald Trump, which is a very big difference from 2020 when they broke for Joe Biden by, I believe, 23 points.
Look at that set, players. Look at the concern. Little different there. We're going to talk about.
They may be breaking for Trump by as many as 10 points. Again, this is early.
Time out. Players. Latino men are voting for Trump by 10 points. Okay. I mean, you can't, it's like, that's what I'm trying to tell you. The coalition is falling apart. The Obama coalition is falling apart. It never made any sense. We've got Gorilla Bear Tech here who was asking us, is Nevada more Republican or Democrat? Nevada's very close. It's been, I've always said that, you know, previously Nevada's been fool's gold for Republicans. There are a lot of reasons to think that they could go for Trump this time. The early vote has been very good for Trump. You know, John Ralston, who's a longtime political reporter out there, is thinking that it's going to narrowly go Harris. We have early information on that. We're still looking for information on that one.
Yeah.
Any updates you have on Nevada, Paul?
Yeah, I think that Nevada right now, given on the election day vote so far today that I have seen, it looks like it's trending more towards Trump.
Okay, here is Chris Cuomo from News Nation, and this is basically what I said. If you listened to our show last night, players, you were ahead of the game. This map is turning out very, very close to what I was talking about last night. Was it not, Paul?
Yeah, it is exactly like we were talking about last time. No doubt about it.
And to that extent, well, yes, both of us. And to that extent, what Chris Cuomo says here is that basically the margin of error for Harris is 0. I'll let him speak for itself here, and we'll talk about it. And that's what I said, is Trump opened up the map, and Harris had to run, as you like to say, Paul, the inside straight. She had to win everything. So this was someone, a good friend of mine, an executive texted me today because he knows that I know what's going on, you know, in my opinion. And he's like, okay, well, you know, what do you think? What do you think? As a Trump supporter, I'm like, look, it's either going to be Harris winning very closely, narrow victory. The range of potential outcomes is like, it's like when you see these hurricane cones or something like that, like it could go here, but here's the, you know, path. So it's either, you know, the range of outcomes was either a narrow Harris victory to a Trump, a big victory. Okay. Not crazy shoot, not like Reagan or something like that, but, you know, substantial, like, you know, 320, 330, something like that. But that was on the very outside. You know, I think it more that, again, that middle range was like, hey, Trump by like, you know, 312, you know, 300, you know, something like that, or high 200s, you know, that kind of range here. I have to do the math again because things are moving very rapidly here. But I think that we're going to see that low 300s type of win from Trump. I think that's what we're looking at Electoral College. Let's listen to Chris Cuomo right now, News Nation. Here we go.
If this were a tectonic type plate, shifting movement in this election, you'd start seeing changes in all the big population centers. What we're seeing emerge in the picture tonight is the polls have been basically on within their margin of error, but with each one of those outcomes, you outperform a little bit within that margin, you start racking up wins. And that's what we're seeing for Trump in terms of how he's performing in each of these areas. Again, not to be repetitive, but it all comes down to this time in the night when Harris has to start winning.
And this is what I'm saying, and this is where, Paul, we talked about this. When you won states by 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, 7,000, you know, that kind of stuff, and all of a sudden, 80,000, 100,000, whatever it is, Amish, you know, folks come out for Trump. You know, I don't know, it's 100% for Trump. Let's say it's like, you know, heavy, you know, high percentages, or you start very heavy, or you start losing, you know, young men, you start losing Latinos, you start losing, you know, Muslims and Arabs in Michigan, you start losing Somali, you know, you start losing union people, you start losing somebody. You can't afford to lose. You can only afford to lose so many. And then that's what I'm saying. The logic was never there. It was never there. Trump was expanding his coalition. Harris was losing the Biden and before that Obama coalition. And as you said, Paul, and I don't want to steal your thunder, and we'll talk about this later. If Harris loses like this, what are the people going to say to Biden? I mean, how's that dynamics going to go? I mean, you're going to see a realignment in the Democratic Party. It's going to be very interesting to see the rest of Chris Cuomo here.
The big states, because she can really only make one more mistake in terms of losing a state and still winning this election.
Right. It's theoretically possible Harris can still win this, but she's got to win everything that she can win at this point, like everything. And so, you know, a lot of Republicans are like, oh, it feels like 2020. Oh my gosh. You know, it's like in all this like little, like, you know, dooming, if you will, whatever that they've been calling it on X. But it's like, dude, there's so many states she has to worry about now. Just got to worry about Arizona, got to worry about Nevada, got to worry about Wisconsin, got to worry about Michigan, got to worry about Pennsylvania, might have to worry about Virginia. I mean, it might have to worry about New Mexico, which is like, that would surprise me. I didn't have that on my election bingo card last night. And we talked about it. Maybe, but that was, again, an outlier. It's like ripples. Like if you put a rock in a pond or something like that, like, what's the circles here, right? That of probabilities and stuff of, okay, well, these states go first and so on and so forth. And, New Mexico is out there. And again, that's the percentage range of a Trump potential victory. I mean, Paul, right now you're seeing stuff in the poly market out there. In fact, let me go back to Decision Desk here, because that kind of
go check it out.
Go. That kind
No, go check it out. I was just going to say, go take a look at that, and you can take a look at the latest poly market. I'm just writing something very, very quickly.
Okay.
Look, the poly market I just saw a minute ago was Trump 96.9%.
Now
that gives you a sense of what people are thinking.
A small dip at the high watermark. You had presidential win chance of 88% Trump and Decision Desk HQ. It's gone down to 85%, but it's still way up there. Okay. Their projected electoral votes are Trump 287, Harris 251. Okay, so we're seeing some different things there. Now they have Michigan, Trump up in Michigan, about 50% of the, and again, these states here, the blue wall usually votes together. So they've got Trump up in Wisconsin with almost 80% voted there. That's like over 2.5% lead there in Wisconsin. That is big, players. That is big. That's almost 100,000 votes. Not a joke there. Michigan, Trump's got a substantial lead there. That looks to me, I'm just trying to do some quick math, almost 55,000 votes, something like that in Michigan. Pennsylvania. I mean, I don't know. You might be close to calling Pennsylvania at this point, bro. We were looking 82% of the vote is in, and you've got Trump up over 200,000 votes right there. Arizona, a little bit of a win, a little bit more lead there for Trump, 55% in, and you've got Trump at 49.8%. So now, New Mexico seems to be a lot more. Yeah, that's what I thought. So New Mexico is looking out of reach for Trump at this point. Still open, 77% in, but that's looking like a comfortable, very comfortable lead for Kamala Harris. And that's what I thought right there, right? So this is going kind of the way we thought about it. Now, they've already called Virginia for Harris, and they called New Hampshire for Harris. So this is why last night, what did I say? Players? I'm like, Trump's going to win these, right? And then but I thought I left this open. And that's what I thought right there. And so this is going to look very close to what we're looking at, 312 for Trump. I think he's potentially on pace for that. Might be a little bit less. But if it was super big, if we had the super big blowout, then you would have seen these come in. Maybe even seen New Jersey came in. New Jersey was much closer than people were thinking about. We talked about that.
It's like a 4-point race right now. It's ridiculous.
That is ridiculous. I mean,
that is crazy.
Crazy. That's what I'm talking about. That's why the Democrats need to do some real soul searching here. Because if Trump and the new GOP coalition can start opening up states like the blue wall and New Jersey and putting those in play, you're done, dude. You're done. Okay. But I felt like Minnesota, was somewhere in between these states. And this is what we've seen here. So this is, no surprise. Now, Senate, we also have to talk about the Senate because we've had some big pickups in the Senate. So we need to go back to that. We need to look at that at this point because there's been some big movement there. Gosh, I dare go to Fox News. I mean, let's do it, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I haven't been super happy with Fox News tonight, whatever. I mean, first of all, Fox, like what this picture of Trump, what are we doing here? Here, Harris, that's like the nicest, very well lit and stuff. You got Trump looking angry. I don't know. I'm not alleging anything. I don't know. Who knows? And they've got Trump at 232, Harris at 216. I mean, who knows? Who knows what's going on there? Whatever. Let's go to the Senate. But Senate, GOP, pickups there, buddy. 2 pickups there. The GOP has won the Senate. They're doing well on the House right here. We're seeing different things here. I'm getting out of here. I don't think this is super useful to me right now.
Yeah, but that's not useful.
No, we're not alleging anything. No offense, anyone.
Nothing there.
Yeah, I don't think it. Let's go to real clear politics. Let's go to Real Clear Politics. Okay. No. I got the CNN one. CNN 230 for Trump, 182 for Harris. I mean, when you've got Trump, when you've got Fox News as the most bullish site for Harris, I don't know. I mean, from what I'm seeing right here, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, whatever. I mean, obviously, and it doesn't matter. I'm not a legend, but I just, let's look. Real Clear Politics. I want to show you the Senate here. I've got so many things open here at the same time. Let me see. Okay, here we go. I got a little ad in there. Move this, gets this out of here. Boom. All right. So let's see what Real Clear Politics is looking at. 2 pickups for Republicans in the Senate right there. That's big. That's huge. That's huge. 1 pickup in the House. Okay. They're showing 232 for Trump Vance, 210 for Harris Walz. Okay. Very good. So let's see what they're looking at there. Now the big pickups right here, players in Ohio. Moreno has beat Sherrod Brown, longtime Democrat Sherrod Brown. Moreno has won there. That is how big of a deal was that, Paul?
That's a huge deal. That was, I think a lot of people were looking at that race both as a bellwether for the national performance of Trump and also a bellwether for the Rust Belt states, particularly the blue wall states. And right now it's kind of looking like that's what it is. I always thought Moreno was going to win. I'm not surprised he won. I am a little surprised by it. Looks like a pretty big win. That's a little more surprising. I'm not stunned by it, but a lot of people will be shocked by that. It's like a 5-point victory or something.
It's a big deal. Now, and the other thing we need to talk about and think about here is you've got West Virginia taking over the Manchin seat. Justice just won huge in West Virginia here. GOP pickup there. So we've got 2 GOP pickups. Also, look at this. You've got McCormick up by over a point, 1.3 points in Pennsylvania with 84% counting right there. That could be another pickup for the GOP. That's big. You've got.
And I would just say something about it because I'm here. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Go.
McCormick has run an excellent race.
Yes,
he has run. When this all started out, I didn't give him much of a chance at all. But he absolutely crushed Casey during this race in debates, in advertising, everything. Shout out to his team. That team ran one of the best campaigns in the whole country. Their ads were incredible.
Absolutely. No doubt about it. Bill Ackman just posted something here. Bill Ackman, he liked one of my posts recently. This guy, a billionaire from Pershing Capital. I got to try to, I've got too many things open here, players. But before I go to that, McCormick is up in Pennsylvania for the Senate. Hovid is up in Wisconsin for the Senate. Okay. Over Baldwin, Tammy Baldwin here. Sheehy is up big over Tester early, though, in Montana. So we could get 3 more Senate seats. That's a big deal, players. Okay, so we're looking very, very good there. There's more information here. Let me see. I've got different things open in different browsers here. So hopefully this is going to work here. Let's go. If not, I will have to kind of, let's see. Hold on. I've just got to get everything dialed in here. Yeah. Okay, hold on. I'm just going to go to this because this is interesting here. Elon Musk said, retweeted Bill Ackman, said exactly, Bill Ackman 34 minutes ago, if the election outcome is as I expected, it should cause the large minority of the country who supported Kamala Harris and predicted her victory to begin to question their sources of truth. Half the country has believed that X is filled with misinformation and disinformation. They could only rely on the New York Times, MSNBC, and mainstream, and they did. And however, had been active on X last year, you would have known the truth days, weeks, even months before the facts appear in MSM. That's right. Okay, so we talked about this.
It's a really good point.
It's a really good point. I'm not going to go through all of this right now because we have other news we got to get to, but something very interesting. Okay, so very interesting there. And David Sachs is talking. There's a lot of discussion here. And so, okay, hold on. Oh my gosh. She lives of TikTok. Hold on a second. We got Chris Wallace, formerly Fox News here. CNN is basically in mourning right now. They sound like they've given up. I guess there's no more joy. Let's see what Chris Wallace and Dana Bash. Here we go.
For Harris.
And the thing about North Carolina, and John has been talking about this and we'll do more at the wall, is you do have
kind of a sense of the country in the state of North Carolina, in that there are growing minority populations, and there is a growing sort of suburban, maybe more moderate population in and around the big cities. And so that is why the Harris campaign thought, with the dynamics of the country right now, that she would have a better shot. But look, the headwinds of the economy, the inflation that people are feeling, the difficulty in everyday.
Oh, you think? I mean, what did Jeff Bezos say in the Washington Post? What have I been saying forever? I've said that 2023 is the year of reality, and 2024 was the revenge of reality. And Jeff Bezos, in his article in the Washington Post, the owner of Washington Post, obviously founder of Amazon, billionaire, everything like that, Blue Origin, all this type of stuff, said that reality is undefeated. Okay, people. It's and Paul, well, I don't want to. Actually, I'm not going to put that out there, right? Because I don't want anything to be misconstrued or anything like that. But it's not. But I just don't want to. Nothing wrong with that sort of statement. But let me rephrase it a different way. People want government to deliver for them. Simple as that. When people's everyday lives are bad, and again, right track, wrong track. If people feel like things are on the wrong track, if they're worried about being punked out by the government, lawfare, even someone as the richest person in the world, Elon Musk, is worried about this and says it in Joe Rogan. People are worried about getting a job. People are worried about safety. Forget it, dude. Forget it. They don't have time for orange man bad and that kind of stuff. Now, obviously within limits and stuff like that. And the other thing is that the mainstream media has been caught lying too many times about too many things. So, I mean, that's the point. Harris is in office now. This is the Biden-Harris administration, and people aren't happy with it. And she did not give access to people as much, or it was late. We didn't really see Harris much, Paul, until in terms of any serious interaction, until the debate. And then that was like a month out, dude. And you weren't basically telling people what you were going to do for them, how are you going to be different, why they should vote for you. And I think it just all fell apart. See the rest of this.
Their everyday lives.
Yeah, she could not outrun that Biden economy.
Yeah.
And the Biden economy. It's the Biden economy. I thought she was right there. I thought she was the last person in the room. Now it's the Biden economy. They're going to still blame Biden. I don't think Biden's going to blame Biden, Paul. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I don't think Biden's going to blame Biden at all. And if this goes, if we get the 3-12 map, which is, Trump winning all 7 of the key battleground states, I think you're going to hear Biden. I don't know if Biden himself. You're going to have those people ask him, could Biden have done better?
Right.
I think you will get that.
Right.
And I will tell you, for Pennsylvania, the two main things, we've talked about this. I just think she's a flawed candidate overall. But the two things that I can guarantee you lessened her chances in Pennsylvania were, number one, the way they treated Biden, and number two, they didn't pick Josh Shapiro.
100%. Huge mistake.
And both of those things hurt her here. No doubt about that.
That's a great question. What has Governor Walz brought to the table? How has he helped you? What voting block has he brought? What state, it's just, probably going to win that state, but it's like, hold on one second, but she's going to win it anyway.
Chris, that is,
in my opinion,
what people are feeling every single day. I mean, we were talking earlier about whether or not
what's up, Chris Wallace? What do you got to tell us?
Women and the idea of this being the first post-Roe presidential campaign was going to
okay. So and I'm going to tease something else up.
You get a sense there.
Go ahead. Yeah, we got a sense of it, but we got something from.
No, you get a sense of what they're saying there, which is basically they're making excuses for why she's going to lose, and now suddenly it's about the economy and stuff. Before it wasn't about that; it was about Roe and other things, and now it's the economy. Of course, it's the economy.
Of course,
it's the economy, the inflation, and the border. Those are the three things people have said consistently.
Oh my gosh, what is this? Well, I don't know. Charlie Kirk is kind of like, I don't know. I can't. Charlie Kirk was talking about some stuff right there. I mean, I've got to be careful here. Let me see here. Okay. Here we go. Bill Ackman's on fire, bro. We're all up here doing stuff. Bill Ackman, it's absurd that CNN refuses to call states that clearly have been won by Donald Trump in order to create the perception that the election remains close. This is simply to retain viewers, to drive average. Okay, so I don't know. That's it. That's what he's saying. I'm not saying anything. I'm not. Well, sure. I feel unburned, but what has been breaking? CNN is reporting that. Okay, so I don't know. There's different things going on. The vol upcoming deregulation where we'll create an economic sonic boom. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, let's say like Vivek Ramaswamy. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on here. Who's it? Soborov. NPA, MSNBC says another. Hold on, let's see what they said. I don't know.
50,000 ballots to be released in the next 9 minutes, and then 37,000 tomorrow. I want to just quickly show you. It looks like actually maybe there's some ballots or something coming in right now. We see a police car escort.
Who knows? I mean, who knows? I mean, and again, a lot of people are jumping. I don't like talking or covering any of that type of stuff because I mean, you just never know. Like, you don't have anywhere. Things are happening so fast. We just do not have the context for a lot of type of stuff. We're gonna go over here. We have more stuff from Bill Ackman that I wanted to go to because he had something that he said that I wanted to see. So let me just dive into that. Let me see if I can figure this out here. There's just so much going on here. But there was also Kamala HQ has been very quiet for a while here. Okay, we talked about that. So I put that of Ackman. I thought I saw something else on. Yeah. He'll love it. Bill Ackman reposted Peter Thiel. I would never bet against Elon in anything. Let's get that sound from Peter Thiel.
Yeah.
In anything. Yeah. I love it. Oh man, it's true. I mean, Bill, it's here we go. Now this was like 9 minutes ago. So things are moving fast here. This is on Bill Ackman's page here. He's got some stuff from the New York Times, 90% and 310 electoral votes. Likeliness of chance of this is the needles here. Likely a percent of chance of I can say it of Trump winning 90%. That's the New York Times, players. That's the New York Times. Okay, so I'm sure we'll hear from some corners of how that's not credible either. And some electoral college estimate Trump at 301. Okay, Harris at 237. What did I say? There's the range. What did I tell you right there? Well, that's about a 16-point spread. 257 and 326. What did I tell you? Okay, that's what I've been telling you. Popular vote estimate. Trump they think that Trump has the edge to win the popular vote. So those are very, very big numbers right there coming out of the New York Times. I mean, the things are looking very good right now, Paul, for Donald Trump. People are feeling very good about it. Democrats not feeling very good about it. I mean, you're posting stuff right now. It's the movement seems to be for Trump. It's looking very good. People are saying terrible night to be Mark Cuban. A lot of people are posting on this. It's looking very good, dude. It's looking very good right now for Donald Trump. Would you agree?
I definitely agree with that. And look, I think Elon made a really good point about the information flow, which is this is so much like 2016, and of course, in some respects, it's like 2020. The polls, the perception was way off. Now, to be fair, a lot of people thought Trump was going to win a while ago, and then they kind of tried to do the big Harris momentum narrative late. But if you would listen to better pollsters, put their work on X, if you would listen to people coming from, trying to tell you what people are really focused on rather than media narratives about issues that are not as important, you could have seen this coming.
Yeah.
What Dana Bash said there, the headwinds of the economy. Well, you didn't tell anybody that.
Yeah.
You guys didn't even talk about the jobs report.
Yeah.
If you had told people that, then they would have been prepared for this. And you didn't do that. And that's why some people that are in a different information bubble didn't expect this at all. I saw somebody who lives, not far from me. And it's like, oh, it's a great day for democracy. And, like everything's great. We're going to win huge. Like they had no idea this was coming.
Right. Jeez, I don't know if I should play this or not. This is Joy Reid, and this is just so out there and wrong. And I haven't even heard it. I see the thing here. Charlie Kirk put this up. I don't know. But the only reason I might play this is this is someone in the mainstream media, dude. I mean, this is someone on MSNBC. Like, I just don't. This is what people are saying that they didn't. They just don't want it. The America doesn't want this anymore. You know, this kind of just discussion. I'm jumping ahead here. Look, I'll play it. I don't want to play it, but I'll play it and react to it. The only reason I'm playing this is, like I said, this is someone that's been on the air tonight on a mainstream media network, and I think this is an example. Well, I'll let it speak for itself. And I think this is part of what people are voting on. Is, do we want more of this kind of discussion, or do we want something different? Joy Reid, MSNBC.
This on this set numerous times, is that you have a state where you've got a 6-week abortion or a 12-week abortion. I think theirs might be 12 weeks.
Yep.
But it's a state where women lost their reproductive rights, where there was a very heavy push to get women to focus on not putting in place,
First of all, look at the set. Ari Melber, sad. Over here, we've got, sadness over here. She actually did an interview with Kamala Harris, stuff like that. I thought she was pretty good, though, honestly. I mean, abortion. Okay, so we got it. We got the abortion. Here we go.
Re-electing, putting back into the White House the person who was responsible for taking those rights away and restoring them. But that message obviously was not enough to get enough white women to vote for Vice President Harris.
I'll finish out this quote, but I mean, so you see what the focus is of abortion, and now we're talking about. I mean, again, I'm not going to say too much about this. I'm going to let it play for itself. But I mean, I think, Paul, this is what was on the ballot tonight. We got another 25 seconds left on this clip here. There's Joy Reid in the middle of what she's saying here.
Harris, a fellow woman, this will be the second opportunity that white women.
A fellow woman. I'm going to rewind that. What? Who cares? How does that have to do? Like, what? How is that? I mean, again, this was someone that's be careful. This was the A/B test. Let me revise and extend that. Let me start over. This was the A/B test. Maybe someone you didn't even like. A lot of people. I like Trump, stuff like that, but a lot of people voted for Trump that didn't like Trump, but they like the Trump economy, versus the media telling you how you should vote for a variety of reasons, irrespective of the right track, wrong track, stuff like that. Again, I'm not going to say too much. I'm going to let this roll. So I went back a little bit. Joy Reid.
A woman, this will be the second opportunity that white women in this country have to change the way that they interact with the patriarchy. And, God bless Shannon Watts, who has tried to have that conversation. But if people aren't receptive to it, and if people vote more party line or more on race than on gender and on protecting their gender.
Okay. So, dude, I mean, women won't vote more than men. It's so unhinged.
It's so bad, dude.
It's so bad.
That's what you said. People are sick of this stuff. Shut
dude.
up. Let's just vote on who can do the job, who's proven themselves. The truth is, a lot of people, as I give credit to Donna Bash, economy, inflation, border. There's a record there that Kamala Harris is part of that's been failure, in my opinion. That has nothing to do with her identity. Period.
People are tired of that. They're tired of being scolded. They're tired of the negativity. They're tired of the heavy identity politics. There's more women than men. There's more women that vote. The percentage of women that vote is higher than men. We were told all this time before from the Democrats that demographics were destiny, whatever. Well, guess what? You have all these communities that shifted to Trump. And we've said it again. Latino men, Latinos, younger people, Arabs and Muslims in Michigan, Somali in Minnesota. I mean, on and on and on and on. So, I mean, again, this is not facing reality of the failures of this administration in delivering for the American people and where the economy is at, and not facing reality in terms of the failures of this campaign for Kamala Harris. It was a terrible campaign, period, and stop. That's it. This was a terrible campaign. It wasn't one mistake, two mistakes. It wasn't a one moment to caucus in the tank. This was a series of, I can name like 3, 4, 5, 6 mistakes per week. I mean, it was so bad from a campaign perspective with all the advantages, basically incumbency, massive money, celebrities, the media, all this type of stuff. I mean, at this point, the Democratic Party, if it's going to get better, has to have a gut check, has to have a reality check, not picking Shapiro. Huge mistakes. I mean, people don't want that kind of stuff from Joy Reid, Paul. I think that's just a huge mistake. Your comments?
Look, I totally agree. You and I were talking on recently off air about somebody I'd seen on talking about like the WNBA and another league, and they were saying different things about Caitlin Clark, and this is the same type
Sorry,
of
I'm laughing at
language.
something.
It's
I
like-
apologize. I just have to explain something. I'm laughing at something totally unrelated on X that someone posted here just in my feed. And go ahead, Paul.
Yeah, that's fine.
WNBA,
I hear you
Caitlin Clark.
laughing. Yeah, so it was a very similar thing. It was a kind of thing where somebody who should know better, who has an MBA, was talking about how another player in again, it's like an alternative league where some of the women and well, they're starting a new alternative league where some of the women who, they want to make money in the off season, WNBA.
Sure.
And they want Caitlin Clark to play. And they're like, oh, they were going to offer her this really good, attractive, high money package, which makes sense because she's the money maker. And this person, this commenter was like, oh, you can't offer her that. If you offer her that contract, you have to offer this other person a contract. And it's like, look, the other person, nobody cares about her. You like, you know what I mean? You can't give out things. This is like the venture capital discussion we had. You cannot just say you're going to succeed when your product isn't as good, because then you're distorting the market. It's just, that's not the way society works. And so what Joy Reid is saying is you're breaking everything down to this identity stuff, and people are sick of it. They're just tired of it. And look, let's be clear. Anybody can vote for whoever they want.
Of course.
They don't need to explain it to Joy Reid.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the bottom line.
Yeah. And Joy Reid's not in every person's head that's voting for Trump or Harris and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So it's like, this is just craziness. And this is the problem, is this. And I think it's more from the left, at least, for a while. It's been a long 16 years, players. I mean, it's just like, I was thinking about it, like I was talking to Paul before, I was getting emotional, stuff like that. And listen, I mean, I don't want to make this about me or anything like that, but I mean, like, we have suffered a lot. I lost, some of my best earning years. I lost huge opportunities and huge potential in Silicon Valley, in my opinion, stuff like that, and we got canceled or semi-canceled or something like that. Potentially, I'm not alleging anything, I mean, there's a lot of weird things happen, players. And I was a superstar for my level, and I was a little, level. That's all very relative. And I don't want to reiterate all that type of stuff I've said before, and happy to another day. This is about election analysis, but the point being is it's been a long 16 years, players. But then in my own, think about that too. And I thought about like, well, geez, before you get the violin out there, John, or something like that, think of what Elon Musk is risking. Think of what Joe Rogan is risking. I mean, this is someone that already has the money. And then to some extent, it's like, okay, well, the people that were liberal, as I've been fighting this fight in politically, obviously, and rhetorically. And, I've got the arrows in the back and stuff like that. It's a little easier when you were on the left before. Now you're switching over and stuff. We're happy to have you. Don't get me wrong. We're happy to have you. But it's a little bit. But still, now someone like Elon Musk is out there and risking a lot. And a lot of these other people are risking out. But at the same time, like I think about like, you know, look at the people during the pandemic. Look at the people that lost their business. Look at the people that couldn't see their families. Look at, you know, there's a lot of people have lost a lot, Paul. Have lost a lot because of political directives. I was listening to someone. I think I want to say, I guess it was the Elon Musk interview with Rogan, and I won't get into everything here. I'll refer you to that, but he had some pretty sharp comments. I think Rogan did, for Fauci, and we haven't seen Fauci for a while, and stuff like that. So I mean, a lot of people have lost a lot. That wanted nothing to do with politics and stuff like that. You know, at least I had a name and I was doing stuff and I was consulting. I was in Republican politics and I was kind of, you know, I was more of a public figure. There's a lot of people, regular people, you know, peanut. They took the squirrel. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of things, and I think people are just sick of it. The point I'm trying to make is, I think this vote, as much as anything, was a vote about, we're tired of over half the country being demonized and saying that you can't get a job, you can't work in law, you can't work in venture capital, you're garbage, you're deplorable, you're irredeemable, you're a bitter clinger. Like, people are just like, enough of it, dude. Enough of it. You know, people are just so tired of that. And I think there needs to be, we got to figure out a way to bring this country together, dude. It's just not helpful for anyone. And that's why I said, that's why I did that from a business perspective. I'm live on LinkedIn and other stuff. That's why I did that video, you know, a year and a half, 2 years ago, whatever it is. A 50% solution is not a 100% solution, especially these corporations. You're going out there and you're doing movies video games that just punk out the fans. If you don't like it, don't buy it. I mean, it's like, that's not work, dude. You know, everything's not political. Everything's not a cause. Everything's not like, you can't, like Paul said, dude, I'm all for that. That may be part of my work. I don't want to say too much. Okay. But I mean, I've been a proponent of exporting the tenets of Silicon Valley and venture capital and technology to other stuff, to empower communities and to try to do different things, to get as many people involved as possible, to, you know, spread, you know, economic opportunity and education, all that type of stuff. But it is to say that is a high risk, very hard game. That is very, very difficult. You don't just snap it. It's not just, you know, switching people. Oh, they're not that great, Obama. It's like, what are you talking about, dude? Like who do you replace with Elon Musk?
I mean, and what's funny about that is Obama's almost never done anything in the private sector. He's never done VC. Neither's
Kamala Harris. Neither's Kamala Harris.
Yeah, of course. That's what I'm saying is, how can you evaluate? That's like me saying, you know, Jordan really wasn't that good, and I never played basketball. I mean, that just doesn't make any sense.
Come on, dude. That's why
anybody that is devaluing or minimizing somebody like Elon, who succeeded at so many things,
my God,
and has been through the ringer. Go back and find that video of Elon. I can't remember. It's like an inspirational video. He's like, you're talking to him like in the early 2000s, and something he did failed, and he's about to cry. And now look at him.
Yeah.
That guy went through everything. He put it all on the line and many times, and he succeeded.
Thank you.
And that's what it's about. And let me tell you something. Kamala Harris, Barack Obama, you never did that.
No. MSNBC here. Here we go.
Bring Savannah Sellers into this. I mean, what are you reading out of the exit polls? Are you seeing any trend lines? I know you've got your brief. You really look at young voters, and you've got your finger on the pulse.
How we feeling there, buddy?
What stands out?
Absolutely. I'll start with some numbers and then give you some anecdotal information. First, let's talk about first-time voters. This is not just young voters, but that's 57% of these first-time voters are under the age of 30. They are breaking for Trump. That is a major reversal from 20.
Younger voters under 30 breaking for Trump players. Maybe, maybe they should have gone on the podcast. It's not just one podcast. It's the whole deal. And not only that, Paul, but there's so many How many times have you seen on TikTok and not well they did I don't go on TikTok, but I'll see the clips on YouTube, X, things like that, of kids getting their first job or going to just crying because one of them living in some woman in Silicon Valley living in her car. They don't think they can get a house. They don't think they can get a date. I mean, it is brutal for the kids these days. Paul, your comments.
Yeah, look, I mean, I that's exactly right. It is brutal, and it's I mean, it's tough, and that's what, as you said earlier, this wasn't a niche issue election. This was a core issue election about the economy and about the border. This wasn't, nobody had time for the little pet issues for that some, a very small sliver of the electorate cares about. This was about everything costs too much. The job market isn't very good. And, for people, including people in the cities, there's a whole bunch more people here that may be taking resources away from me or the people in my community. So it was completely about those issues. It was not about the other stuff.
Well, again, and I got to be mindful because we only have so much battery life on this thing.
Yeah. We can wrap,
if you bring in whatever the number is, 500,000, 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, 10, whatever the number is, let's call it 1 million. Let's call it 2 million. And you have where are they going to live? Where are they going to get jobs? I mean, there just has to be a plan for this. You know what I mean? It's like that's just a reality. You know what I mean? And when you're bringing in whatever it is, I don't know, million, when whatever the number was for the month, and there's some Elon or someone put something out, and there's like not that many jobs put out there. I mean, and the cost of housing and inflation. I mean, there's just it's a tough deal, dude. And there's no plans. This is the rest of this.
2020, 53% for Trump right now, 46% for Harris. Back in 2020, 60.
Look at the faces. Look at the faces. I mean, it's just like they don't understand it here, And so it's like, come on, this is, as you said, and I think that was very well put. This is a core issue election. This isn't a single issue election. This isn't, what we're talking about. Nantucket, nothing against, whatever, it doesn't matter. It's like you just didn't have a situation where there was a connection with everyday Americans here, Oh, here we go. Hold on. We got something here. We got Elon Musk and his son with Tucker Carlson. Tucker's really have a good set here. We got a clip here on X. I don't even know what this is going to do, but it looks cool. Let's play it.
That kid.
Oh.
Hey,
little guy.
What are you doing?
He just video bombed the set. He just, he basically crashed. He crashed the interview. Elon's son. Let's go.
You want to just sit on my knee or something? Okay, I guess so.
That's how my daughter is.
All right, okay.
A lot of times she won't want to do it, but other times like, hey, I'm jumping in the video. Okay, here we go.
Mini me here.
It certainly is.
Mini me, you complete me.
What's your name?
What's
your name?
Actually, I'm going to show you. It does this.
We're on TV.
Love kids.
This
is wild.
Yeah. Tucker Carlson Network has now become a daycare for Elon Musk. I love it, dude. That kid's having fun. But this is the thing, though, Paul, is you have a real, sort of pro-family vibe, pro-family message over there. I just didn't think that. And again, not to say the Democrats haven't been that and can't be that and don't have their policies, but Kamala Harris's campaign was supposed to be of joy, but you really didn't feel a lot of positive messages coming out of that campaign, and I think that was a huge failure.
It was. I think it absolutely was. That the campaign was clearly focused on just putting down Trump. We didn't hear a lot of vision of her own vision for things. I remember I would see ads, and they would be like platitudes like, Kamala Harris has a plan to cut taxes for 100 million Americans. Well, what's the plan? Just because you said something doesn't mean you actually have a plan to do it. And so, and that clip you played, I think of MSNBC, they were talking about the youth vote. Look, I'm not far from Penn State, and there's a lot of young people in this area, and I can tell you, you could feel a shift. You could feel a shift. You could see it out there. And also, one other thing I want to talk about quickly is we talked about this off air, and that is the Latino vote.
Yeah,
because this has been mentioned multiple times tonight. That is probably the single biggest change in vote that of any of the other categories or subgroups. And I think, something maybe around like 45% nationally if the exit poll or something ridiculous like that, which has never been done. We talked about this. Look, I think there are a lot of Latinos that feel alienated by the Democratic Party. There's a number of things, whether it's respect for traditional values, how, maybe how people feel about their religion and how that's viewed maybe in certain parts of the Democratic Party. And, I believe that there are a lot of Latinos who feel like, what is the Democrat Party really doing for me? What am I getting out of this party? What do they mean for me? And I've seen that a lot. And as a former liberal, I can tell you, the signs were there. And people, I know I've said it, and other people tried to tell you guys that this was going to happen, and it happened.
Yeah, we've been trying to tell you. That's what I'm saying. Like there has to be a there. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the thing. It's like it's the same thing. Like you can't. You can try to build a product. You can get it. You can get hired on and build a product. You have to be able to build it. You have to be able to do something. You know what I mean? Like Elon Musk, his team landed the rocket. The robots walk. The Tesla, are great cars. I mean, you have to be able to deliver. It's just like, again, like I did the analogy about the Olympics. You can get me. You can put me in a spot in Olympics. It doesn't mean I'm going to do anything. I'm not going to be able to win the race against other top athletes, sprinters and stuff like that. So it just doesn't work. We have something here from Young Turks. I don't know what it's going to say. Hopefully we're going to have, we're not going to worry about language or anything. I don't know. This is St. Unger and his panelists. I don't think they're super happy. Here we go.
Having said that, what percentage is reporting in North Carolina? 76% reporting. You're down by 7. You're in a world of trouble.
Yeah.
You're like, yes, it matters which counties, but you're still in a world of trouble. And in so much trouble that one of the
he's talking about that they were not calling these races. They're still trying to keep the hopium alive. That, it's okay. Dude, it's not okay. You got that much, you're down that. Well, it's just not, the math doesn't math, dude. I mean, it's like.
Organizations already called it. Okay, now let's go to Georgia.
Yeah. By the way, Iowa has been called by CNN at least for Trump.
Iowa called for Trump, so there goes that nonsense.
Yeah, how many pros thought that poll was legit, and yet we're out there talking like it was legit. What I want to do now, I want to see what Larry Sabato is saying. I want to see what Alan Lichtman is saying. I just want to see what we're talking about here. I mean, it's just, now we're not seeing kind of crickets, kind of not a lot there, dude. I know. I mean, it's just like, not seeing a lot, not seeing pretty thin there on Larry Sabato's page there. We're not seeing a lot here. Let's see here. Let's just go here. Let's go here. Not seeing a lot here. Okay. All right. Director of University of Virginia Center for Politics. Cool. Crystal Ball every week. Author Kenny Half Century. Okay. Cool. We're just not seeing a lot here. We haven't seen a lot since 6 hour reposts. That's kind of wow. You'd think that we'd be, on election night, you'd think that someone that covers politics would be posting a little bit more. Paul, what do you think?
Yeah, Larry had plenty to say recently, but now apparently there's not a lot to say. And you know what? Maybe that's just as well.
I don't know. Yeah, I think it's like, I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. And then we've got, let's talk about Mr. Keys. Mr. Keys, it came out for Harris and said that and predicted that before. We got the keys here. Professor of history, American University, author of 13 books, predicting the next president. The keys to the White House. Cool. All right. Let's check out these keys. And there's people that criticize the keys and stuff. Join us tonight for our live coverage. Okay, cool. 5 hours before coverage. So he's probably working. He's probably out there. Give him a pass. And probably Sabato too. So you know what? Who knows? So that they're probably doing their thing, and that absolutely should be. So we'll see what's going on. States are okay. So pro-choice, okay. And then he was talking about Trump here. To me, I mean, listen, listen, I think that everyone has their own views of different things like that, but I just feel like, you shouldn't, how do I want to say it? I want to say, if you mark my words, the keys will be right again. We'll see. They're not looking too right, buddy. They're not looking too right. They're not looking too right. I don't know, man. I guess we're going to find out. So, hey, he's doing good at his YouTube channel. That's fantastic. That's great. Listen, we're all for everybody, dude. We're all for everybody. I just feel like, let me get out of here, dude. I've had enough here. Okay. Yeah. Right. Okay. So he predicted that Harris was going to win. And to me, it's like, I feel like he said a lot of stuff that, doesn't make me feel like he's super neutral in regards to Trump, Paul. Would you agree or disagree, in my opinion?
I'd say that. What was it? What would you say?
Professor Lichtman, the Mr. Keys guy, has said a lot of stuff that don't make me feel like he's super, how do I want to characterize this, right? If I remember correctly, I could be wrong. I'm not alleging anything. Public figure, whatever. I feel like he said some, kind of some potentially negative stuff on Trump.
Yeah, I think that's true. And people didn't like that. Look, yeah, I think a lot of people have questions about how the keys are actually determined. And, adding in the extra jabs at Trump probably didn't help things much.
Yeah. So look, people get predictions right. People get predictions wrong. That's why I think that here's the thing. People here's why I have a problem with the keys, stuff like that. And if you say that, hey, this is how people always vote, stuff like that. First of all, the people can vote for people for any kind of reason. So you're trying to say there's just immutable things that are basically going to be some almost psychological test for people every election, right? If a lot of new people are coming into America and stuff like that, and people are born and people die, and obviously the things change. It's a dynamic system, is what I'm trying to tell you. So it's hard to build this psychological test based upon keys that may or may not be relevant now, right? To do this almost psychology test. It just doesn't, it doesn't. That's why polling is, if it's accurate, is better, because you're actually testing opinion in the moment. That's the point of that. You have to look at many different factors. So you're not looking at get out the vote. I mean, it doesn't. So the problem with the keys is it doesn't look at the mechanics of elections, the logistics, get out the vote efforts, different things, money, and it's not looking at. I didn't look at all the keys, so I'm not alleging anything about the. I mean, I'm just based upon what I know about the keys, and it's not really testing the. I just think that it's flawed. I don't think it really tests the voting feelings, if you will, of the moment, yeah. And I think he said something like, "Yeah, the keys don't mean." I did it before the debates to show that the keys don't, aren't affected by the debates and stuff like that. Well, obviously, we've already seen that debates matter. How do we know that? Biden's not running. So, I mean, in this election, we've already seen that debates actually matter, Paul. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense to me.
It makes no sense. I mean, look, the problem, one of many problems, in my opinion, with the keys is he kept adapting them. he kept adapting them. And now these new polls, they fit the keys. And that's why I'm doing it. You can't do adjust it over and over again and have people take it seriously. Look, I've told you this off of air. You know this. I've never taken those things seriously.
No.
Ever.
No.
And they're just, they're not based, they're too subjective. And you just can't make a serious prediction like that. It's like Nate Silver's model. It's all over the place.
Kevin O'Leary here has some strong comments about where the Democratic Party goes after this. Let's see. Kevin O'Leary of Shark Tank, billionaire. Here we go.
How do you read this?
I'm going to stay on this theme for a moment and call this perhaps the greatest night the Democratic Party can ever have if they lose. And let me explain that.
I agree.
I was very troubled just over 100 days ago when they circumvented the.
Let me just say this. I'll get back to that because I know he's going to say something good here. I'm predicting it. I don't know it, but I wouldn't be surprised. It's what I was saying about the Joy Reid clip and stuff like that. Like the Democratic Party needs to do a rethink here, and they have to do some soul searching and do a new iteration and stuff like that. They have to figure out how to provide a platform that appeals to more people here, and people feel like it's going to deliver for them and stuff like that. Not just coastal elites or the ivory towers or whatever that it is. It just became more of everything became a rolling litmus test. Like if you weren't for this and stuff, and like there's that one comment of I support the cause of the day or whatever it is, it's like, and it just wasn't working. But I don't want to speak for Kevin O'Leary. I'm going to rewind this a little bit. Let's let him speak for himself. But I think that's where he's going with this.
I was very troubled just over 100 days ago when they circumvented the democratic process and anointed somebody. The analogy is easy to a Super Bowl. You arrive at the Super Bowl game, and by any measure, this is the Super Bowl of global politics, a presidential race. Right. Your quarterback, Biden, is injured. He's taken out of the game. You don't bring a quarterback in that's never, ever, ever won any game anywhere. You run a process.
Yeah.
And they missed that opportunity. This is a chance for them to, I'm not saying they're going to lose, but I'm going to those percentages and saying they get to reboot. They get to go back to the center. They get to.
And why did they short circuit that process, Paul? Well, one, there was the whole donor stuff and the money that was already in the bank and the coffers. It was like something like 70 million, 100 million, a lot of money. And just because of the mechanics of how it was given to Biden Harris, and then she was probably the only one that could get that money. Two, she wasn't sitting vice president, so you got to give that. But there were some that were saying that you can't pass over Kamala Harris. You can't. It has to be Kamala Harris, right? I mean, there was some of that discussion going on out there. And this is the problem: is that you didn't have an open situation. You had the hot swap, as Calicans were saying, but you didn't have the speed primary or anything or any kind of primary, really. So you didn't give voters a chance. You basically told the voters to pound sand. Well, It looks like the voters now have told the Democratic Party to pound sand. Go ahead, Paul.
And we talked about this off the air, which was I just lost my train of thought, but it was there was no, or maybe we talked about this earlier on the show, the first part. There's no connection or investment in Kamala Harris by the Democratic base. Why? Because they didn't vote for her. It might seem like a trivial thing, but it isn't.
No.
Because when people vote for you, they have to think about you, learn about your positions, invest in you emotionally. Part of what was happening was because of this short process campaign for Harris, nobody ever really got to know her. And of course, as we know, she hid. So you couldn't learn about her. Well, that's great. And you're running the slick ad commercials and all of that stuff.
SNL.
However, you're right. When you didn't do retail politics, you're not coming off necessarily as genuine. And so when people go and they're thinking about, they're going in to vote, whatever, they don't feel any emotion for you. Whatever you can say about President Trump, like him or not, everybody knows what he's about. Everybody has a reaction to him. Everybody is invested in him. Like we're talking about pro wrestling. Trump has heat. It doesn't matter if it's negative heat or if it's positive heat, babyface or heel. People feel something about Trump.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't feel anything about Kamala. And that just makes it easier, just kind of
well, and
brush her aside and whatever.
Sorry,
that's why people didn't come out for her, in my opinion.
And not only that, and that's a great point. And not only that, but I'm going to make that point, but twist it a little bit to make 2 points. You had a Democratic Party that was basically saying you had to vote for Kamala Harris. If you don't vote for Kamala Harris, there's something wrong with you. You're a bad person if you don't vote for Kamala Harris, basically. And as Joy Reid said, particularly women, something like that. So it was like, it was craziness. Like, it's a crazy political message, in my opinion, And on the other side, that they also said you can't vote for Trump. He's the worst. This is a authoritarian rally in MSG. Meanwhile, Jimmy Carter's been there doing a political rally. Hillary Clinton was there doing a political rally. Like this is stop. But in the midst of all of that, can't vote for Trump, have to vote for Harris. You had a situation where, and I had a thought that goes right with that, was perfect, but it's okay. I mean, it's the same type of thing here, where it was like, hey, I'm trying to tell you, this is where I was going with, the average American is trying to tell you, my life's bad. I can't pay the bills. Inflation's too high. It's really, really bad. And they were like, whatever, pound sand. We don't care. That they didn't literally say that, but that was figuratively, like, we're not even going to let you vote for Kamala Harris as a nominee. We're not even going to let you vote as a regular citizen. The DNC delegates did. And not only we're not going to let you have access to her. Very limited press conferences, very limited town halls. And when they did the town halls, how'd that work out? Wasn't so great. Teleprompters ever. So, I mean, it's basically like, we're not even give you access to this candidate. We're not going to let you vote for this candidate. And people are just like, my life's terrible. Enough of this. I'm not doing that. Not saying everyone's life is terrible, but there's some people that are going through really hard times. And there wasn't an answer. And historic is not an answer for how you fix people's lives that are really struggling. It just doesn't work. And so it's just fundamental. So this was a fundamental flawed candidacy. It was a fundamentally flawed strategy. The whole thing was wrong. And the fact that you're getting beat this bad, having the machine, the ground game, the media, the money, all these things, the donors, and what we found out, what I didn't tell you before, big money can't is going to have a hard time overcoming a bad candidate. And in today's day and age, the money and the money only does so much. It's very limited. It's needed. It's still necessary, but it is limited. Let's see the rest of what Mr. Wonderful has to say here, Kevin Miller.
Scratch this whole thing and the influences of a Schumer or a Pelosi or a movie star or an Obama deciding to anoint somebody. Those guys are gone in 4 years. They won't have that kind of influence. This could be great for America because I'm an investor. I have to work with who's ever in the White House in January. But a
lot of people don't care. Like, a lot of people don't want to have to worry about politics this much, Paul. It's just been too pervasive. I can't date you if you vote for Trump. We can't get married. I can't do business with you. I'm not going to hire you. I'm going to look at your LinkedIn. I'm going to look at your ex. It's insane, dude. It's just insane, dude. I believe in privacy, except for your political views. And there's all kinds of other analogies I'm not going to bring up right now, but people it just doesn't make sense. Let's get the rest of this.
Care about policy. And when I hear policies coming out of a party that are so twisted against the American way of life, like basically taxing capital gains that are unrealized.
That right there, I told you guys. I mean, that's my experience in Silicon Valley. I like that right there. Just that issue was just a no-go, red line. Disqualifying for so many on Wall Street and Silicon Valley. Like, it was over. It was over. And people, and to even propose that immediately takes, I mean, these are people that, like, you talk about the elevator pitch, stuff like that, people that make decisions in 10 seconds, 30 seconds. I mean, you basically have, 30 seconds or less to pitch your company, whatever, to get another meeting around. They're going to make these instant decisions. Like, that is just disqualifying. As soon as they heard that, it was done, dude. And as I said, like, you can't do business like that. You can't do, like, if you, to even propose that is craziness in those settings, in those communities, in my opinion.
That's not America. Or price controls. That's not America. 28% tax rate takes us to the bottom quartile of competition. That's bad.
Yeah.
We can't do that. That would hurt the country. Yeah. And all I do is work with entrepreneurs that want to build businesses.
Look at Brett Baer. I mean, this is the thing, dude. This is. I mean, you could say whatever about Kevin O'Leary. He's doing real investments, doing real business stuff like that. He's out there doing it. Like, he's not in like, some TV set all the time or government job or something like that. He's got to actually really do, it's got to do stuff that works.
There's a reason people come here under barbed wire and drown in rivers to get into America. It's the American dream. It's the only thing the president has to do is to maintain it. Those policies are against the American dream. And I have nothing against Harris. I mean, look, she did a masterful job in getting to where she is. It would be good for them.
Yeah, I mean, she's got skills, right? I mean, and like I said, like likability and stuff like that. She's got a lot more likability than a lot of personal likability than a lot of Democratic politicians and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like I think that, capability wise, she's, hasn't been that great in policy, but in terms of likability and stuff like that, but she's got some skills. I mean, nobody gets that level without having some skills, and that's it. So we give her respect and stuff like that. But I mean, you got to go back to the, you got to try to figure out how you can do better next time or something, right?
To lose tonight. It would reset and reboot and get that party back to the center. It would be good for them. They may not want to hear that.
We don't.
But they may have to.
But he's right. It's gone to, and this is the whole the meme and the cartoon that Elon Musk puts up there. Democratic Party went too far. It's the Somali leaders. The left us. You left us. That's what he said. It's like, it's too far. Let's get some update here on some numbers, because we do have some updated numbers, and it's looking better and better for Trump at this point. This is Decision Desk HQ right here. Let's see where they're at. Still have the same electoral college, here, 213 Harris, 248 Trump. But Trump is beating her now, Paul, by 4 million votes. That's 4.5 million votes. Not a small amount. That's a lot. But if we dive into here, percentage chance of winning is now up to 94.3% for Trump. Pretty much the highest, almost the highest that it's been all night. Very, very high. Maybe the highest. 94%. No, it is the highest that it's been all night, I believe, or very close to it. Maybe very close. It doesn't matter. I don't need to be exact. But if you look at Pennsylvania now, 91% in, 51.2% Trump, 47.9% Harris, almost a 250,000-ish lead. That is extensive there in the state of Pennsylvania where you're at.
It is. That's a massive lead. I mean, look,
Let's call it 220.
President, it's still a lot. I thought that President Trump had a good chance to win the state. I thought it'd be closer than this. I mean, Elon Musk earlier today in his thing said he thought that Trump could win the state by 400,000 to 500,000. I'm like, wow, that seems a little bit much. But if things keep up the way that they are, maybe Elon is right.
Arizona 49. Go ahead. Sorry, Paul.
No, it's fine. It just, yeah.
I was going to say Nevada, nothing yet. Arizona, 49.9 Trump, 49.3 Harris, 56% in. I'm just going to go through some numbers real quick.
Oh, by the way, they finally called Georgia.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Please.
Finally.
Yeah, please. I know. I saw some different sites.
Also, let me just say, now we never know how many ballots remain, but right now Pennsylvania is 90% in.
Yeah,
and he's at 51%.
I'm showing 91% in. So Michigan, 67% in. Trump at 50%. Harris at 48%. I told you that, players.
Yeah, you did. You called that.
1.8, almost 100,000 up right there. Again, you can't lose these major voting blocks. And you get out to vote. I mean, union votes, Arab community, a lot of other youth. I mean, come on, dude. Wisconsin, big stretch here. 88% in. I mean, Trump's looks super good there. 1.4%, 1.47 million for Trump, 1.35 million for Harris, 51.4% Trump, 47.2% Harris. I mean, it's big. Minnesota, Tim Walz is, that's where Tim Walz is from, right? He's governor of Minnesota.
That's right.
Okay. 50.8% there, 47.1% for Trump, 62% in. I mean, this is players. This is looking very close to what I've talked about. It could come in exactly what I talked about. We could see that 312, right? And that blue, that Rust Belt seems to moving together right there, right? I thought that was a little bit of a stretchy stretch there. Virginia, close, not that close. New Hampshire, close, not that close. New Jersey was, but you're seeing some Connecticut. You're seeing some New York, far, but not crazy far. Like California's crazy far. Like there's no chance. California, right? Oregon. I mean, dude, Paul, if I would have told you that at this time that New York popular vote would have been closer than Oregon, I mean, would you have believed me?
No, I don't think I would have believed that. But there's a, I mean, obviously Oregon is a leftist state, but it's, there's a good chunk of people that live in the eastern part of Oregon that are very, very conservative.
Alaska early, but
that's
different, right? Alaska early, but looking good. I mean, so it's looking very, very good for Trump at this point. They're projecting, the projected electoral votes 295 for Trump. I mean, he's looking at this point. We're looking very, very good for Trump. We're probably going to wind it down right here. We don't have the final answer right now, but you have to say that it's looking excellent for Trump, and this is going the way that we talked about. Anything you want to add at this point, Paul?
Yeah, I mean, just to follow up on that, look, Trump is on course to win this election. Now, of course, we all remember what happened in 2020 and the 3 a.m. ballots and so on, and everything looked great at 10 p.m. for Trump and all that. I don't think we're going to see a rerun of that. Just like in Pennsylvania, there's just not nearly as many ballots out. There's like 700,000 fewer ballots out for Democrats than there are this time around. It's just not going to be as easy to find the votes. And so, look, nothing's done till it's done. I mean, but we all know that after our experiences. But practically speaking, it's going to be tougher to accomplish that, in my opinion.
There is some kind of election update here. Harris for president. Hold on. Okay. Something. Okay. So let's get, hold on. That is, okay. So we basically have a spokesperson here for Harris. There is some kind of announcement here. I think they're saying per David Sachs that they're announcing that they're not going to concede tonight. And David Sachs says for Kamala to announce, this is breaking, for Kamala to announce that she won't concede tonight is an insult to democracy. Trump is up 4 in Wisconsin with an 86%. It's over. That was before. And Paul, this just reminds me of, this is 2016. This reminds me of Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, Richard Barris, the pollster, said something the other day where he was told that the Harris campaign would not concede immediately and that they would try to challenge whatever. But the way that this is going, I just don't know how realistic that type of scenario is.
Yeah, I did think I saw that, stuff like that. So, I mean, at this point, how are you feeling about this situation now, Paul? I mean, I think people are feeling very, very good about all this. I think, Go ahead.
I personally feel that, look, if you had to make me give a percentage on the percentage chance, I feel confident that Trump is going to win now.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say probably 80%. I mean, again, you have to leave the window open. I know that the Harris strategy that was said on MSNBC earlier or CNN is let's see about the votes and let's see what count we can get in Detroit and Philadelphia and Milwaukee and so forth, in Atlanta, but now Georgia's already been called. So that's the plan. mean, we've seen this before. I just think, practically speaking, I don't know everything about Milwaukee and Detroit situations. I do know about the Pennsylvania situation. As I said a few minutes ago, there's just a lot fewer ballots outstanding to deal with to be able to achieve that. And look, she's down 225,000 votes. That's a lot. I mean, so it's not done yet. I'm not shutting the door yet, but I feel pretty good, pretty darn good. Yeah.
Absolutely. And this goes to some of what we were saying before. I'm going to go to some of this down here, News Nation, Chris Cuomo, about just the realignment of where things are at. And here we go. This is either the strength of Trump and the new coalition, or maybe the weakness of Harris as a candidate, or both. Here we go.
In New York, Biden was plus 23, Harris is plus 11. He's made up 12 points in New York. In New Jersey, that was New York State. In New Jersey, Biden won by 16, Harris is winning by 4 points.
Wow.
There is a massive realignment in America.
Also, we were just talking before the commercial break about the Hispanic vote. Trump right now is winning 45% of the Hispanic vote, larger than.
I mean, that's what I'm talking about. Like
that's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable, right? We're winning on all these different things here.
Incredible.
So look, it's looking very, very good. You know, we'll have to see what it is. And, you know, I'll probably stay up and monitor and stuff, at least for a while.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think it's looking excellent at this point. A lot of people think that it might be over, but I think now, okay, so now we've got an update here, a small update here on we are getting some. Okay, hold on. We have new information here. Timeout. Decision Desk HQ has 251 for Trump, 213 for Harris. Nevada is 67% in, Harris 49.4, Trump 49.1, very close there. They have called Alaska. Okay. So Alaska for Trump. Okay. Arizona is about the same. Wisconsin looks like a little bit more in. It's looking great for Trump. Michigan, looking very good for Trump. Pennsylvania, about the same. So it's just, you know, this is where we are right now. I think this is kind of a good place to leave it at this point. It's looking like Trump is going to win. We still don't know. It's still early, not early, but it's, you know, we're not sure yet, obviously, and we'll just have to see, but we're going to monitor the situation here, and we'll probably pick it up, or we probably just pick it up, you know, tomorrow morning. And we've done 2 of these things now. So this is not an unusual place of where we thought we were going to be tonight, Paul, that we may not be able to have it all figured out. But I think if you're in the Trump campaign, you got to feel very, very good. And we're seeing that on various, you know, sites out there. I think, you know, Trump campaign is looking good. We are going to have a Republican Senate. It is looking good for the Republican House to maintain. So you got to like where, if you're Team Trump and the GOP, you got to like where it's at.
100%. I mean, I think that realistically, you couldn't have really been in a better scenario than what they're dealing with right now.
Absolutely. Now, you've definitely got some stuff out there. Some people are talking, you know, Bill Ackman, Sachs, other people are out there talking. There's a lot of people talking right now. So look, we'll leave it here. We want to thank you so much for joining us, and we'll pick it up tomorrow. I'm sure we'll have a lot to talk about, but so far it's looking good for Trump, and this is turning out, you know, very close to what we predicted. It may turn out almost exactly what we predicted, if not exactly what we predicted. So we'll see. But you know, we don't know. We'll still look for some results here. So anyway, yeah, that's our analysis for tonight. For Paul, I am John. Thanks so much for watching. Have a good night. We will see you tomorrow.